Wada, g'day and welcome to this session that we have dubbed the Universal Truth. The universal truth to success, happiness, prosperity, love, health, or whatever is lacking in your life. We often get asked, what is it that makes one person successful and yet others don't reach their potential? Is there a simple formula or a key to this? You may think the answer is a difficult one to nail down, as we are all different and from different circumstances. However, the answer is pretty simple, and we are going to share this with you today. And the answer is yes, there is a key to unlock this. This key is the universal truth to success, to happiness, to fulfillment, to health, or to whatever is lacking in your life. And it is the one thing that has been agreed by the greatest teachers, philosophers, gurus, and minds over the centuries. In fact, it is so powerful, and if you truly understand it and apply it, your life will be transformed into the life you've always dreamed about.
I want you to think about our lives today. We live in such an amazing era of advancement and opportunity, which continues to grow at ever-increasing rates. In fact, the technological advancements in the last 10 years have been more significant than the previous 50. For many of us, we live in the land of opportunity and have everything that we need at our fingertips. Or do we? Today, it has never been more accessible to be successful and happy. Yet, why are the numbers still the same as they have been for decades? Why is it still that research shows us that only 5% of people end up being rich or financially independent? Most people never learn how to become financially independent because they conform. They act like the 95% who don't succeed without knowing why and without knowing where they're going. They do things because everyone else is doing them, right? Even more so, why are so many people unhappy? And why is the rate of depression higher than it has ever been?
These people believe that their life is shaped by circumstances and by things that happen to them and by exterior forces. They don't believe that they are actually the ones in control. George Bernard Shaw put it best when he said, "People are always blaming their circumstances for what they are." I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, make them. Before we give you the universal truth to success, we must first define what success really is. Let me first, though, explain that success is not all about making money. Well, technically, if you want to make money, go and get a job at the Mint. What I mean is success is not a result of earning money. Earning money is the result of success.
Success has been described by many of the past masters in personal development as the progressive realization of a worthy, predetermined goal or ideal. So what they're saying is that it's not about the achievement of a goal, but about continually taking steps and action and moving towards it. We like to put it this way: set a goal, write it down, and every day look at it and take some action towards it. In other words, the person who succeeds is the person who says, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to become this, and then work towards achieving it. As we said before, success is not just defined by financial measures. Success comes in all shapes and forms. It's doing something that you really want to do, not because you have to do it, because you really, really want to do it.
Success can be being a mum or a dad and raising kids because that's what you want and you've deliberately decided to do this. It's being a carpenter because that is what you always wanted to do. Or being a doctor, healing patients because that's what you wanted. Or working in the corporate world as an executive because that's what you chose. Or being a salesperson because that's what you wanted. Or a musician or an artist because that's what you wanted. On our early morning walk, we pass a guy who's probably mid to late 30s who drives a really big rig. His truck is kept pristine. as after each trip he cleans and polishes it to the max. It looks brand new by the end of every weekend. When we pass him as he's leaving, he gives a great big wave. He wears a huge smile. He is a picture of success. In other words, if you're doing what you want to do or progressively working towards it, then you are a success, whatever that is for you.
A successful person is someone who is doing something or working towards something predetermined because that's what they decided to do deliberately. You know, only around 5 to 10% of people are actually doing that. And have you ever noticed that in general, the person who is already successful continues to be successful in whatever they do, as opposed to someone who fails or floats by, who continues to fail and floats by? And why is this? It's because of a lack of direction or goals. So imagine this. You hop into a car, you turn it on, you put it into drive, and you let it go with no idea of where you're headed, hands off the wheel, letting the car go wherever it takes you. And who knows where you'll end up? You certainly won't know, and chances are it will crash into something. Or imagine you're flying a plane and you take off, but you don't set any course in the navigation system. Well, you'll be at the mercy of nature's forces, and if you have no destination planned, you will eventually run out of fuel and unfortunately you'll crash. Same with a boat. So you get out into the ocean, if you make it out of the harbour that is, without crashing, and then you drift wherever the prevailing tides and currents will take you. It's actually the same with people.
We have to aim for something. Maxwell Maltz talks about it in his best-selling book, Psycho-Cybernetics. Human beings are designed as goal-seeking machines and innately have a servo mechanism to guide them. The problem is, most of us don't use it.
So, what is this universal truth? The truth to success, the truth to happiness, the truth to prosperity, the truth to living the life that we want, the truth to all the other things that we want to think about. The universal truth is this: you become what you think about. It's as simple and as profound as that. And I think that you'll find that if you look back on your life so far, you'll find that it's pretty much correct. Each one of us is right where we are now based on the thoughts that we've had in the past. I'll say it again. You become what you think about. As we said earlier, so many teachers throughout the centuries have agreed on this one point, and they've just said the same thing in a variety of different ways. Do your own research. You'll find the great teachers and philosophers of the present and the past have all said the same thing, just in different ways. So I'm going to repeat it one more time so that you can write it down. It's important. You become what you think about.
A person who continually thinks about a concrete and worthwhile goal or idea is inevitably going to reach it because that's what they're thinking about, focused on, and therefore creating. Conversely, the person who doesn't know where they're going will have thoughts which are confused, anxious, and worried. And they become what they think about, as their life becomes one of frustration, fear, and worry. I'll give you an example of someone who I know. He separated from his partner several years ago, and from the outset has continually thought such things as, I will never find another partner. I'm so lonely. The universe has given up on me. I'm not worthy, and a myriad of other self-deprecating thoughts. And guess what? He is creating this reality and consequently has become what he continually thought about, single and lonely, and trapped in his paradigm and thought pattern. Unfortunately, at this stage, he is unwilling to accept and explore the potential to change his life using this universal truth and continues to live the life he thinks about. As Ralph Waldo Emerson so eloquently put it, you become what you think about all day long.
Let me put it this way. Your amazing mind is just like a garden bed. It doesn't care what's planted in it. The land will return what you plant, but it doesn't care what you plant. You can plant a stunning, flowering shrub, or you can also plant hemlock. which is the plant that famously killed Socrates, but that's another story that we cover in another session. And the ground will return what's planted, providing it is tended. If you keep nurturing, watering, and feeding either, they will grow into whatever they're supposed to be. Beautiful or toxic, although you may plant the seed of a rhododendron, but if you don't tend it, nurture it, water it, and feed it, it will become overrun with weeds and eventually it will die. So as you sow, so shall you reap. Your mind is exactly the same. It doesn't matter what you plant, success or failure, a concrete goal or anxiety, it will return whatever we plant, provided that we tend to nurture it. The problem is that most people don't think. They are like the gardener who just plants the seeds in the garden bed and just leaves the plot alone, unnurtured, letting the weeds take over, and these can come in the form of other people's opinions, your own self-doubts, the media and literature that you constantly expose yourself to, the family blueprint that you've inherited, or so many other external influences. And some of these influences are well-meaning, and this leads to our picture of ourselves, our self-image, which is a critical component to using the universal truth, which we discuss this in detail in another session.
Our mind is an amazing and complex instrument. It contains riches beyond our wildest dreams and will return anything that we choose to plant. But instead, we use our minds for petty, little, and insignificant jobs, rather than big, important jobs that truly positively impact our lives and at maximum. Science indicates we're only using 10% of our mental abilities. Imagine that, you have a 90% capacity of potential to draw on. Just think about the life you can create if you tap into that. So decide now what do you really want to plant in your magnificent mind. Decide what should go in there. It's the most important decision you'll ever make in your life. Whatever it is, make the decision. Plant the seed and care for it. Focus on it, feed it, and work steadily toward your goal, and it will eventually become a reality. If you do this, there's no way that it can't. That is the law. The truth, the universal truth, which is immutable like the laws of physics.
As we touched on before, the other keys to this universal truth are developing your self-image so that it is congruent with who and what you want to do, be, have, or become, and taking action. Act like the person you want to become. Act the part. Do the things that this person would do. See yourself as already having achieved this goal. See yourself having already doing the things that you would be doing if you had made it. This is a lot of fun. And remember to take action. Sir Isaac Newton, the great British physicist, discovered the law that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. In other words, we can achieve nothing without paying the price. Whatever you want to achieve, there is a price to pay. But we must be willing to pay the price. And taking action is a major part of that price. Massive action. For example, if you want to be a virtuoso musician, you better get practicing. A doctor, you better get studying. A writer, get writing. Ideas are worthless without action.
Every one of us is the sum total of their own thoughts, feelings, and actions. The truth is, you are where you are because that's exactly where you really want to be, whether you want to admit it or not. At a deep subconscious level, you know this is true. What you think today and tomorrow will determine your future because you are guided by your mind and what you think. You are the creator of your reality. And do you know what? You get to choose your thoughts. How good is that? You are a free-thinking, superb specimen of a human being, gifted with the most beautiful Aladdin's lamp, your mind. You get to choose. You get to choose to live a life deliberately and on purpose, or you choose to be like that boat, bobbing in the ocean, being taken wherever the tide and current takes you, believing that your life is shaped by circumstances and by the things that happen to you and by exterior forces.
Now is the time for you to take control. You are in the driver's seat. And the universal truth is the same truth that can lead someone to success and everything that they've ever dreamed of, or it can lead you into unhappiness and despair. It's all in how you use it. This is the universal truth. You become what you think about. The very great teacher of old gave us this truth numerous times. As ye believe, so shall it be done unto you. So make the decision now to take control and choose your thoughts, and choose them wisely. We should make our time here an exciting adventure, waking up excited about the prospects of every day, instead of being wandering generalities and waking up dreading each day. You are the one in control.
To help you implement the universal truth, we would like to give you a 30-day challenge. It won't be easy, but if you really commit to it and follow it all the way through, with all the instructions, it can change your life forever. To frame this test, there are 3 key points I want you to think about. 1. We become what we think about, so we must control what we think about. 2. Realize that any limitations you have are self-imposed. You are the one who has put them there. And number 3, you need to set a clearly defined goal for yourself. Let your imagination run wild on how you will achieve it and take massive action.
So how do we determine which goal we want to focus on for the next 30 days? It's simple. Make out a want list. Write down everything that you would like to see come about in your life. Let your imagination run wild. If you knew that it was impossible to fail, what things would be on that list? Really take the time to do this and don't move to the next step until you've completed at least 30 items. And don't worry about how you're going to achieve them or how long it will take. Just write them down. After you've completed your want list, I want you to number the items in their order of importance. Now, before you move on to review this, ensure that the number 1 goal is the most important one to you. Now, make item number 1 as your present primary goal. You can come back to all the other goals later. Now, what I want you to do is write this number 1 goal on a card. Write it very specifically, in detail, and in the present tense, as if you already have it. And read it first thing in the morning, last thing at night, and every chance you get during the day for the next 30 days. And as we said before, you become what you think about. As Esther Hicks put it, a habit is just a thought that you keep thinking. So we really want you to ingrain this into your subconscious. And actually, it's already yours really the moment that you first write it down and begin to think about it. It just hasn't manifested yet.
As I said before, this challenge won't be easy. Doubt and fear will inevitably rear their heads as you try to build this brand new habit. Stop thinking about what you fear. Every time a picture of fear comes into your mind, replace it with a picture of your positive and worthwhile goal. Did you know that research done at MIT, which found that of what people spend their time worrying about, 40% never happens. 30% can be changed no matter what. 12% are needless worries about our health, and 10% are miscellaneous petty worries. Only 8% are real legitimate worries. So stop worrying or being afraid.
There will be also times when you feel like giving up, and that's really natural, as it's so much easier to focus on the negatives. And that's why only 5% of people are living their lives to the max. So I want you to place yourself in that 5%. Each day for the next 30 days, do more than you have to do. Give more of yourself. Don't worry about how you will achieve your goal. You just need to know where you are going. And as Jesus so eloquently put it in the Sermon on the Mount, ask and you shall receive. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open. It's actually really simple. All you need to do is have a purpose and faith. For the next 30 days, do your best. Do it as you've never done it before. And if you do this for 30 days, you will be astounded at the results that you achieve. What I want you to do is act as though it's impossible to fail. Don't start until you have made up your mind to stick to it. Going at it strong for a week and then falling back into old habits is just like working for a week on a garden bed and then abandoning it. Before long, it will be no better than what it was before. You need to be persistent. Succeeding takes time. It takes dedication, 100% commitment, and creative thought. However, if you find that you do start again and go another 30 days. I'm not necessarily saying that you will achieve your goal within the 30 days because this depends on the goal that you've put down. But you will have put the wheels in motion and you will have begun moving inexorably towards its achievement.
All you have to do is hold your goal before you and act. Everything else will take care of itself. It is the principal law on which everything in this universe operates, the law of cause and effect. This law has been written thousands of times by some of the greatest minds the world has produced and has appeared in many forms. It has been put other ways. Our rewards in life will always match our service. As ye sow, so shall ye reap. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Most people will agree with the phrase, our reward in life will always match our service. Then they will go their ways, go back to doing what they were doing before, and never realise that this truth is so great and all-encompassing.
I like to think of this law as immutable as the laws of physics. If you are unhappy with your rewards, you should examine your service. It's simply action-reaction. Or what you put out will determine what you must get back in return. It's so simple, it's so basic, it's so true, and yet so misunderstood. So over the next 30 days, we recommend that you watch this video often to remind you. The law of financial return is in direct proportion to the service provided. And as we said before, success is a measure of the quantity and quality of the service that you render, and financial gain is a measurement of that. So if you want more, give more service. This is the price that you must pay for what you want. You'll get back what you put out.
So stop thinking of all the reasons why you can't and think of all the reasons you can. Even more, if you have the paradigm or self-image that you aren't or will never be a success, go back to your childhood and try and find out where you first got this idea that you couldn't be a success. In fact, we recommend that you go to our session on our channel on the self-image, the master key, to learn how to change your self-image and act the part. Become the person you want to become. Do this for 30 days and watch your world change.
Thanks for watching this video, and we hope that you got a lot out of it. We would love it, be grateful and appreciative if you would take the time to like this video, comment if you feel inclined, and share with any friends that you think would benefit from this. We are constantly creating new great content, so also remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the awesome material that we have coming up. See you soon.